When I make a piece of content for the internet, do I make the video that is the truest reflection of my voice?
How's it going, everyone?
Top of the morning to you, laddies.
Hello!
Of who I am.
PewDiePie here. PewDiePie!
And if we put our memories on the internet,
I got a ticket for not riding the bike lane.
Welcome to the Oxcast.
What's up, everybody?
Yo, what's up?
It's critical.
My name is Mac DeMarco.
and we choose those memories based on what we think is going to get the most likes or clicks or whatever, then we are curating our lives. Obviously.
We're talking about Jimmy Donaldson, but you probably know him as MrBeast.
This is $1 million in cash.
We are spending the next 7 days in this massive underground
Just drop these two strangers off in the middle of the wilderness.
If you thought people only did YouTube for money back then, it was always going to get a whole lot worse.
Today is going to be the craziest day of my entire life. In this video, we will be eating 100 years of jail food.
It's easy to forget who you are.
So watch this video to the end. But make sure to watch this video all the way to the end.
So make sure you keep watching until the end.
Because this video just might save your life.
That affects what memories we send forward into the next generation. And so it matters. Like, it really matters.
This is the opening to the 2011 film Midnight in Paris. It's a 3-minute long sequence of establishing shots shot in Paris beautifully by cinematographer Doris Conde, backed by the song Tu vois ma mère. Why the f am I showing you this Woody Allen film starring Owen Wilson? Do you think Midnight in Paris would pull even 1 million views on YouTube? What would its audience retention graph look like? Would it lose 90% of the audience immediately because they went more than 4 seconds without showing Subway Surfers gameplay at the same time? Would anyone even click on it without a red arrow and 5 fucking red circles on its poster? Would it even be recommended to you when you could be watching this guy put plastic over stuff just like 124 million other people did? As it stands, more and more people are choosing to sit on phones and scroll through brain rot content than ever. What chance does a Midnight in Paris starring Owen Wilson stand today? We're standing here in ground zero. Not TikTok, not Instagram Reels, YouTube, let's be honest, was the match, the fuse, and the atomic bomb all in one. And progressively, all of us, hyperbolic title by hyperbolic thumbnail, by faster intro, contributed to this marketplace of slop and paved the way for dopamine treadmills like TikTok. Over the last 3 years, I have made a lot of money off of so many of the same practices that I despise on this platform. This is an inherently hypocritical video. Before I tumble into like a runaway train of potentially world-ending topics, let me be even more hyperbolic. YouTube does suck now. Here is exactly why. We're a few minutes into this video and I'm supposed to tell you to subscribe, but personally I'd rather you just delete YouTube, turn off your computer or phone, travel to a nearby forest and watch the birds instead. For those of you with the patience to listen to my pseudo-intellectual autistic ass, let's talk about YouTube's fantastic community guidelines that I love so much. Also, before this video gets demonetized, you can fund this content directly at patreon.com/GetHip. Or not. I get it. I don't like me or have any money either. Alright, so here's the deal, yeah? Progressively, over time, as more advertisers have joined YouTube and as advertisers have developed a larger and larger stake in YouTube,
always a pleasure to have our board of directors pay us a little visit.
The community guidelines have continued to expand and overreach onto creators.
What?
Under a thinly worn veil of inclusivity, YouTube has expanded their guidelines to effectively exclude more and more content and by extension, more and more people. People that don't fit the advertiser-friendly content creator box that YouTube and their advertisers have so carefully crafted over time. A box that has become increasingly more restrictive, inching ever closer to the overly sanitized, biased, and politically funded past of cable TV that ultimately destroyed it and paved the way for YouTube's current dominance. We are watching the death of cable TV play out in front of our eyes for these same reasons all over again.
You know how much I sacrifice?
Back in 2023, YouTube announced that any cursing within the first 15 seconds of a given video will result in it being hit with limited ads. Limited ads will be a key term throughout this video. For those of you out of the loop, it's basically YouTube's way of saying you are almost entirely demonetized, but don't want to flat out state that you're demonetized, so instead use this vague limited ads terminology. Shame on you. You still make some income, but it's a fraction of what you would have made prior. As of 2024, this now titled vulgar language policy applies to anything that they deem as vulgarity. It's another blanket term that allows them to effectively financially handicap anyone that says anything that they or their advertisers disagree with. Shows like Kill Tony, a multi-million view stand-up comedy show, is naturally subject to being hit with limited ads repeatedly due to the language and subject matter, financially handicapping the show. This was also the case for Joe Rogan, who explicitly stated that a large part of why he made the deal he did with Spotify was because of the constant demonetization he faced on YouTube. But for those of us who don't have the popularity to facilitate a multi-billion-dollar streaming service deal, you're basically beaten into submission by this machine. These guidelines have created a platform now dominated with generally safe content devoid of any critical language, thinking, or introspection. To be clear, that sort of content does still exist on the platform, but its relevance and frequency on homepages pales in comparison to the content that fits this advertiser-friendly box. So much of this platform may as well just be YouTube Kids, and by extension, the audience is developing an intelligence no greater than a kid's. I've been subject to this before. I had a video hit with limited ads. I was given no official reasoning, as the video was automatically age restricted after its release by its AI that handles so much of YouTube's guidelines now, as it took days for an actual human being at YouTube to respond to my appeal. When they finally did, they reverted the decision and lifted the limited ads. Their AI is wrong. A lot, by the way.
Oh, you don't see it?
Here are all the different emails from all the other times that this has happened to me.
He moves!
I also obviously received no compensation for all the revenue that I lost for those days that it was limited.
Coincidence? I think not!
Which, especially if you're a bigger creator or you're riding the momentum from a big topic or trend and you get the majority of your views in just the first few days, this system can rob you of literally thousands of dollars. Creators on this platform that have the financial capacity and have had this done to them in the past should probably sue the platform over this. I mean, so much of this behavior from YouTube has to act in counter to some Human Workers Employment Rights Act or law. Oh, wait. Here are all the other laws that YouTube and Google has repeatedly broken. And that brings us, my friends, my pals, who are still watching and contributing to this video's watch time, thereby using the algorithm against YouTube. That brings me onto my favorite topic. Rights you grant. You retain all of your ownership rights in your content. In short, what belongs to you stays yours. However, we require you to grant certain rights to YouTube and other users of the service as described below. YouTube then basically say that they can use your content however they want, share the rights to whoever they want, completely royalty free, and can even sub-license your content to other people, including for the purpose of reproducing it, distributing it, modifying it, displaying, and performing it. It's like, yeah, technically I still own this video. But so does YouTube, which, okay, fair enough. I mean, I am uploading this video to their service, which they provided me, but this transferable rights agreement enables them to feed everything uploaded to this site into any machine learning algorithm that they want, and any advertiser database that they want. They are making a f***ing killing off of our data, off of our work, and off of our words. And some of the more critical of you may be like, well, yeah, what did you expect? This is like standard terms of service for most social media platforms nowadays. And you're right, this is the case a lot of the time nowadays. But was this what YouTube was ever for? This was the place where we could watch this guy go to the zoo, where we could watch Casey Neistat crash into bike lanes to fight the law, snowboard with the NYPD, Felix and Marzia get married, YouTube Rewind 2018 get dislike bombed into oblivion, Prank versus Prank, Raka Raka, Jontron and Flex Tape, iDub, Filthy Frank and Pink Guy, Game Theory, Draw My Life, McJuggerNugget, Corridor Digital, the fucking Yogscast, man.
To the Yogscast.
Since when did this become the place to watch some fucking guy put plastic over different items while cat videos play? This video got 124 billion views. Many of these iconic uploads barely even scratch the numbers that this slop content is pulling. And by extension, is this what YouTube now values? This entire channel is dedicated to just putting plastic over different items, and surely view bossing their content I mean, the entire comment section is bot accounts or paid accounts repeating the same, "Wow, what an honest company" sentiment. They're surely farming an insane amount of ad revenue off of this content. But do advertisers even know that this is the screen time that they're paying for? The same advertisers that pressured YouTube to implement progressively more and more restrictive guidelines and don't want to be associated with vulgarity have simultaneously, inadvertently platformed and promoted slop content viewed by bots. These advertisers currently believe that they are paying for millions of views worth of screen time, but in reality could just be getting put in front of a video where a guy makes a prime slushie with popular TikTok songs in the background.
Why did you just send my son a free slushie?
Sir, that's because you like...
Then this same guy makes an entire YouTube video about how he gamed the YouTube algorithm with brain rot content and markets it as "I got 1 million subscribers in 30 days to prove it's not luck" video, and openly brags about how it's the perfect form of brain rot. I don't even hate this guy. This is YouTube's fault. This is the advertiser's fault. He's just making fun of them at this point. Look at these thumbnails. So many of these creators clearly don't believe in these ridiculous facial expressions that they're pulling. They know what they're doing. They know they're making slop content. They're laughing at the advertisers, they're laughing at YouTube, but they're also laughing at you. This was the platform I could watch so many genuine, authentic, human moments. These moments in time that meant something, that lasted longer than 6 seconds. That stood on nothing more than their own achievement and some small hope that you would click. Now it's the platform where I don't want to click most of these videos. I don't want to feed this machine with another impression, another view, another pre-roll ad, and then another pre-roll ad, and then seriously, another pre-roll ad?
You can't keep getting away with it!
Not to mention this is the platform where they can monetize your content without you, the creator, receiving any of the profit. Many of us loser wannabe YouTubers like myself know the pain of trying to hit those stupid monetization requirements while YouTube continues to plaster your channel with ads anyway.
Hello friends, this video was originally sponsored by Kono, but after I had made the entire sponsor segment and edited it and then sent it to them, they denied approval, stating that I was a brand risk. So consider me Hideo Kojima because I have been monumentally fucked. So this video is now sponsored by me. Please join my Patreon at patreon.com/GetHip, or I am actually cooked. I am dead serious, this might be my last YouTube video ever. Please join the Patreon. Okay, God bless.
What if YouTube didn't run ads on channels that haven't hit monetization requirements yet? What if that would help those starting creators? Because someone might give their video a chance if they didn't immediately get hit with 3 pre-roll ads. Their monetization requirements have been so normalized with the litany of these how to get monetized fast videos. It's just a rat race over money the creator should have received to begin with. We just accept this as the norm here. Obviously, this isn't to say that YouTube shouldn't get a cut.
I started this company.
Of course they should. They provided the service, after all, but they are getting their share. They already take 45% of all of the creators' revenue. This same sort of criticism exists elsewhere on the platform. There are videos covering many of the grievances that I'm listing here, but with the YouTube algorithm slowly becoming more and more like TikTok's aggressively user-focused For You page, it's hard to find content that breaks out of the few interests that YouTube thinks you have, or worse, wants you to have. So let's talk about the fucking algorithm. I love the YouTube algorithm. It's given me so much, so many documented moments in history. A place for the creatives, the weird kids, those who were rejected by traditional media outlets. I wanted to be a YouTuber, not like this guy did, but like so many of these rejected creatives that I grew up watching and admiring. People who started uploading to YouTube not because they thought they were going to get a payday or a 100k play button or 1 million views or 1 million subscribers, but because they wanted to make a top 5 John Mayer guitar solos compilation. I started this channel making video game edits, music videos, trying to follow in the footsteps of editors that I admired. Not to tell you about the Top Quest 2 head straps. I don't hate these creators. I don't hate the people around me who I know still produce this MrBeast era content. I've been in that same position for the last 3 years. I made a lot of money off of those videos, and as an 18-year-old, that money was a big deal. YouTube, when you play their game, can make you some serious money. I then lost a lot of that money when I bought a 17-year-old Japanese car and it blew up immediately, but that's besides the point. Point is, I get it. I get the risk these creators face if they don't play the game. Their families, houses, children rely on these videos performing well. Do you really want to put your family on the line just to be authentic and honest? For many, that's an easy choice to make. That fear that if you don't make a stupid fucking face that you won't engage enough people, that someone will pick an Allie video over yours. That fear that if you don't make 70 fucking cuts within the first 10 seconds of the video, that fear keeps you from making Midnight in Paris. YouTube's algorithm has so clearly made this deranged handbrake turn into trying to beat TikTok's For You page. So frequently, I'm now shown videos that make no sense. It's not just me either. There are full videos dedicated to this schizophrenic behavior from the algorithm. Watching it go bananas trying to show you something so user-specific that it loses the point entirely and starts showing you videos made by people who have similar viewing habits to you. Just an endlessly worsening echo chamber. Not to mention, my homepage is so dominated by content produced in just the last few weeks or even days. How much legacy YouTube content that's more than just a couple of years old has been totally lost to this slop? Were there videos that I referenced from a few years ago that you didn't recognize because YouTube showed you Ryan's World found angry skibbity toilet? We all have an entirely different outlook on the past and the present, with all of these algorithms now directly tailored to you and you only. The YouTube algorithm used to have some unison. You felt like you were part of a community that were all seeing much of the same moments in history. There were clearly defined YouTube eras that culminated into things like YouTube Rewind. Never has this platform felt so lonely. We literally drown each other out as daily uploads on this platform hits insane new records. I'm seriously worried about what this is doing to our ability to just relate to one another, to understand each other when we're so aggressively forced into tiny corners of our own internet. We can't even discern what the common consensus is on a given video now that dislikes have been hidden. And for the conspiracy theory of this video, I think the reason YouTube gave us for removing the dislike button is total bullshit. If you forgot the reasoning YouTube gave us, it was allegedly to combat trolls and to protect creators against being dislike bombed.
Groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard. That's a big problem when half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a vote.
You can see it in his eyes, he doesn't mean a word of this. YouTube's own co-founder doesn't believe this guy either, stating that there is a reason, but it's not a good one and not one that will be publicly disclosed. It doesn't take a genius to expect that the reasoning is once again the advertisers. This change happened in November of 2021, a particularly big moment for a few criminally charged pharmaceutical companies and their friends, the government, both of which are regularly subjected to a justified bashing online. A bashing which I don't think either of them were particularly happy about. And sure enough, these pharmaceutical companies are far and away some of the biggest spenders on ads. As for the government, they've repeatedly tried to silence freedom of speech online, so there's no surprises there either. It is generous of me to even call this a conspiracy.
Manipulate scientific data.
Independent of why it was done, this is just such a brain-dead move from a user perspective. How are we supposed to know if there's something wrong with this tutorial without sifting through the comments?
It should really be called How to Electrocute Yourself at Home with a Small Appliance.
We have no barometer for bullshit anymore besides our own intuition. And clearly, for so many people, that intuition fucking sucks, landing us in this wasteland. When dislikes were initially removed, creators made some noise for a couple of weeks, but it's been 3 years now, and we've just kind of moved on like we didn't literally just have a huge, arguably human right stripped from us digitally. Speaking of rights that we were stripped of, YouTube AI is here.
seatbelts.
Yeah, Google is training AI on all of your YouTube videos because of f***ing course they are. Our content is being fed into a machine that, let's be honest, may probably destroy us. AI-generated thumbnails are already everywhere.
Let me out!
These videos still perform well, despite robbing thumbnail artists of work.
Let me out!
MrBeast is looking for AI thumbnail concept artists. There's sites like Spotter Studio that are backed by the very YouTubers that this AI takeover would impact, promoting thumbnail concept generators that you can feed other people's human-made work into to come up with title concepts and thumbnail concepts. This is not generating a concept. This is breaking into my house, killing my dog, and stealing my car. I'm gonna make 4 movies and a spin-off fighting you over this. Bot accounts dominate the platform too. So many hijacked channels promoting crypto scams with the assistance of an AI Elon Musk, bot comments pretending to be human to promote another crypto scam. Their bot detection is failing across the board. There are YouTubers making their own videos compiling links to hijacked accounts, as shown in this video by the PC Security channel, making the point that how can an individual compile these links and find these channels but YouTube can't? And what if YouTube doesn't actually want to do anything? Are these spotted channels making ad revenue? How much money does YouTube make if they just let that hijacked account live stream this Bitcoin scam for a few hours longer? Or lets these view-botted videos view-bot a little longer? Look, even if YouTube does want to fight this, can they even discern who is and isn't human anymore? Is there a massive ad revenue bubble on YouTube that's about to cataclysmically burst when these advertisers realize what percentage of these views are bots?
I'm ruined.
In my last video, I went into detail about how there are entire channels like Movie Luts who are pulling millions of views, doing nothing more than getting an AI to regurgitate the Wikipedia page for A24.
A24 has cultivated a specific target audience that appreciates thought-provoking and emotionally resonant cinema.
This content is going more and more unnoticed by more and more users. Oh look, YouTube is introducing a new AI tool that will let content creators restyle a licensed song, changing the mood or genre of said song to use in a video. As if Demi Lovato songs didn't sound like they were already generated by AI enough. Alright, let me try and make this video way less depressing because everything should have a happy ending. Midnight in Paris is about an aspiring writer struggling with his work who's given the option to live in the past with his writing heroes, but ultimately realizes that he should just live life in the present. Maybe I'm just trying to live in the past with my YouTube heroes. Maybe I'm not willing to live in the present MrBeast AI-generated engagement farming era that we're in today. What once was a window into other people's opinions, teachings, achievements, shortcomings, their lived experience, is now just a mirror for you to endlessly stare into your own reflection. Will all of this media be forgotten, replaced by skittish, sanitized, schizophrenic kids content that appeals to the most simplistic dopamine bursts? I grew up with In the Night Garden, not Skibbity Toilet. A place once for the bold, the creative, the creators. How could you ever let this burn just for some cash?
All you care about is money.
Maybe this is already a runaway train. Maybe there's no stopping it. But maybe, like Joey Diaz making a cameo appearance in Spider-Man 2,
you want to get to him, you got to go through me.
we can make a stand. These agreements, these guidelines, these advertisers that have us in a total chokehold. Surely we can throw a table at these motherfuckers or something. Make the content we want anyway and force them to fucking deal with it. Make their own guidelines, force them into financial irrelevancy just like cable TV before them. Say fuck you, Sally. Say shame on you. Say lightning bolts shoot from my fingertips. Look, we, the creatives, shouldn't be penalized for our own creativity by millionaires without a sense of humor. We literally are all of these characters, repeated throughout history. This repetitive tale of greed has been told an infinite number of times before. Must we really continue to endure it? The choice is yours.
Go outside, just delete YouTube, dude. I was being serious about that. Fuck this nonsense fucking app.